Let's chat. So recently I saw the trailer for the 小孩不笨3 movie, and honestly I felt a little bit triggered. I think it's not so much like about the whole grades thing and like tiger parenting, but it's also about this underlying belief that there are only certain jobs that are good enough. Being a creative in Singapore sometimes feels like you're swimming against the tide. You feel like the odd one out. Sometimes you get very invalidating comments, and sometimes you're like an attractant for other people's fears projecting on you. But if I reflect back on my creative journey or my career as a creative, I realize I love charting my own path. I also love telling stories, and I get really restless in an office. I really like this unconventional life. I mean, of course, it's not without its struggles and without its sacrifices, but I always believe that all pathways have their own fair share of struggles and sacrifices that you have to make. So in the end, you have to choose the path where you feel most aligned with, where you feel like even if you have to sacrifice and struggle, it's still worth the journey for you. I also believe that everyone is born with different traits, strengths, preferences, and giftings. I thank God for those people who can do like engineering, can be a doctor, a surgeon, or like an accountant, because we do need those people in our lives. So I thank God for them, and I thank God that I can pursue my creative career simultaneously. Sometimes I don't really like to talk about my career or my job or what I do with other people. I don't mind shedding light on the journey if people are genuinely curious about what is it like to have a creative job in Singapore. But many times the conversation starts to veer towards me having to defend my career choice or to sell the idea that I'm doing very well compared to a conventional job. To be honest, sometimes I don't know, I don't care. But I also know that behind every so-called interrogation is probably someone who has some sense of fear about careers and the creative industry and being a creative as a job. Maybe they chose a safer path and they want to use your life as comparison to check if they made the right decision. Or like I said, they're genuinely curious. Sometimes I'm glad for all this resistance because it just proves to me that I do want this life, I do want this career, and I enjoy being a creative. I can't help it. So despite all of this, I'm gonna continue doing what I love.